fam, welcome back to Leap of Faith. Thank you for coming to watch this video. Thank you for your subscriptions, thank you for your likes, your comments. I really appreciate them. Thank you for sharing my videos. I'm very grateful. If you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe, like, and just show me some love, So about 3 to 4 weeks ago, my phone got spoiled and I did not have access to the internet as much as I used to. Social media, I was offline for a bit, and I noticed some changes in my life. Now, I've always heard people, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of motivational videos, and most of the times when these people are giving advice, one of the things that they always say is stay off social media, like stay away from your phone. They will say things like disappear for 6 months, disappear for 3 months. And entering into 2023, I watched a lot of those videos and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. But with my line of work, I work a lot with social media. I didn't see how it was possible for me to stay off social media, right? Because I need to constantly get ideas and be inspired by other people's work. So social media is very important to me and my line of work. And so I couldn't do any of that. But on the 24th rather of February, I was forced to do that because my phone fell into water, and I just made up my mind that I wasn't going to repair it because I have spent money doing quite a number of things, right? And so I want you to note that this thing happened at a time where Nigeria was about to elect a new president, right? And I was very much invested in the election. I was very much invested in the election. I wanted everybody wants Nigeria to be better, right? But yeah, I was 100% invested in that election. And so my phone spoiled on the 24th. 25th was the presidential election. So 25th morning, I woke up and I was like, oh my god, I shouldn't be here right now. I need to find out what's going on with the election, what's going on with people's polling units. I needed to be online. I just found a way to be online. But a week or 2 weeks after this thing happened, I was phoneless. I noticed some changes in myself. So the first thing that I noticed is since the phone got spoiled, or since I became phoneless, I was sleeping better and earlier, right? So I realized that the reason why I was not sleeping as much as I should was because I was online. I was always online. I was always on social. I would always spend time online playing mobile games till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'm still up. But I noticed that when my phone got spoiled, I was spending less time on. Of course, there was no device, right? But I was sleeping better. I was sleeping early. I would wake up more refreshed. My eyes were not as red as they used to be, and then the headaches I used to have were no longer coming because I was well rested, properly rested. I know, and they tell us that you're supposed to sleep for at least 8 hours. That's like to get proper sleep, you're supposed to sleep for at least 8 hours. So I was actually doing that, and it was very good for me. I was thinking better. I was thinking faster. My mind was clearer. I wasn't as clogged as it used to be. The second thing I noticed, which is funny, right? But it makes sense, is I was spending shorter time in the toilet. Yep. So usually I would carry my mobile device into the toilet. I know that a proper doctor has warned us to stop.
Before, if they spend more than 5 minutes on the toilet seat or they are pressing for red flag.
Right, but I would always do that because I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing in the toilet, right? Let me just while away time. But I noticed that since I became phoneless, I was spending shorter time in the toilet because now I was just focusing on what I was going to the toilet to do, whether in number 1 or in number 2. So I would just enter the toilet, do my business, and then leave. Or like before, where I would enter the toilet, even if my business, I'm not even aware if I'm doing my business or if I'm not. I'm just pressing my phone. So I was spending shorter time in the toilet. It saved me more time. I was more productive. So instead of pressing my phone, I would actually be thinking in the toilet, okay, so what next do you need to do? How can you make your work better? This project you're working on, how can you make it better? How can you make it faster? The third thing that I noticed when I became phoneless was I started having conversations with myself. No, I was not running mad or anything, but I became a more conversational person, right? I started being able to feel, right? So because there was no more distraction. So usually when something happens and I'm sad or I'm feeling pain, and I'm sure you can relate, or you're just tired, the next thing is you pick up your phone and look for a distraction. So maybe you go on YouTube and watch a funny video or something. But this time around, I didn't have that. So if I'm sad, I would actually sit down with that feeling and start to process it. So why are you sad? When did this sadness start? How do you think you can avoid this situation? I started having those full-blown conversations with myself, and I noticed that I was better able to solve those problems. I was better able to process those feelings and emotions because I was taking the time to sit down with them and actually feel them, understand how they make me feel, understand what caused them, understand how to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So yeah, that's the third thing. I was able to start having conversation with myself. The fourth thing that I noticed was I became more aware of my environment and the people around me, because this time around I'm not lost in my device, my head bends. This time around I'm actually looking at the people around me, so I'm very aware of my surroundings. I'm paying more attention to the people that I'm talking to. You know how we can be on our phones and somebody's having a conversation, somebody's talking to us, and then we're just doing You're actually not listening, or even if you're listening, you can't hear 100% of what the person is saying. But that period of my life, I was more conscious of people. So when people were talking to me, I would face them and hear actually what they are saying. My body language was better. I was no longer looking like, I'm not interested in this conversation. I showed more interest in conversations, and I think that I'm a better person for that, because it took communication up a notch. The fifth thing that happened to me is I became more my devotion with God went up. It went up a notch higher, because this time around it wasn't about using my mobile device for my Bible study and getting distracted while doing that. Now I had to actually use my hardcover Bible, my physical Bible. So I actually spent more time in devotion, because I'm not distracted. There's nothing taking my mind away. There's no message coming in, there's no notification coming in that I want to quickly attend to. And all of those things. So I know that there are some fears that we have about staying on social media. The most popular one being what they call FOMO, fear of missing out. So you feel like, okay, if I'm not online, how do I get to know what's going on? How do I get to know if there's danger, if everywhere is okay? Which is valid, right? But I think that most of the time, like it happened to me, right? We actually aren't missing out on anything. There's really nothing that is happening that you need to know. Like there's no information that is going around that you cannot do without, right? It is very important information that you need. It will get to you. I remember during that election time, somebody called me and was saying, "Oh, I heard that they are fighting in your area." And in my area, there was nothing like that. It was peaceful and quiet. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're safe. But there was nothing going on. And you see, that's another problem with social media. Bad rumors spread very fast, right? It's not necessarily correct news. It could be false news, but because it's social media, it just spread like wildfire. What am I saying in essence in this video? I think that it's essential for us to sometimes take some time off social media, because it just helps us reset. Like it just resets you. You start to reprioritize what's important, what's not important. There's this scale of preference, and then you start to fix things in the places where they are supposed to be. So those are 5 major things that happened to me while I was phoneless. Have you ever been in that situation before? What are the things that happened to you that you noticed in the period while you didn't have a phone? Did it improve your life? Did it make your life worse? I'd really like to know in the comment section. Please let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video.